Hey guys, this is Brian, aka Krosick, and I am going to be walking you through a series of tutorials for building a platformer 2D game utilizing TypeScript, Electron, and Phaser. And my goal with these tutorials is to, one, keep them short and concise, two, rapidly provide you the information that you need, and three, walk you through every step of the process. So my plan is to go over pretty much every step that I've taken to develop what I've built so far. So that stems from setting up the development environment to writing the actual code to creating any of the artwork that might be used in the game, as well as any music that might be used in the game. So the goal here is to have bite-sized tutorials that are easily digestible and allow you to understand every facet from start to end of everything that happens during the development of this. So what I wanted to do in this intro video is go over the tools that we'll be using to develop the platformer. So as I mentioned, that is mainly TypeScript, Electron, and Phaser. And so TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. And basically, really the main reason I wanted to use TypeScript for this project is because of the statically typed nature of the language. So in JavaScript, you typically don't have any typing for your variables and whatnot. And TypeScript, you can actually have compile time typing for your variables. And for me, that's just more what I'm used to. And so I'm going to assume that you haven't done anything with TypeScript. The differences as far as what I'll be doing are very minimal. But I will be assuming that you have a basic working knowledge of JavaScript. So the second tool that we're using is called Electron. Now, obviously, JavaScript and TypeScript are typically used for web development. And what Electron does is it provides a toolkit for you to actually wrap up your web application as a cross-platform desktop application. So it basically contains the backend, the JavaScript engine of Chrome inside of it, and allows you to actually execute web apps as if they were native desktop applications. And this will let you have cross-platform functionality as well as interact with the native platforms that you're developing for. So along with that, what Electron actually lets you be able to do is utilize Node.js modules as if you were coding JavaScript on the server. So with this, we have access to any Node module that we would normally use for server development with our game development. So it's a neat way to kind of pack up your game as a desktop application, but still code it in web languages. And so for the meat of things, our game engine that we're going to be using is called Phaser. Phaser's a pretty popular 2D web game engine, and out of all the game engines that I've tried, I really like Phaser's API and how well laid out I think things are, and it gives you a lot of groundwork already laid out, and they've done a lot of legwork for you. So things like handling sprites or any animations, the input and sound tile maps, all this kind of stuff is, in my opinion, handled actually very nicely and allows you to really rapidly develop whatever idea you're trying to get into the game. So we'll be using this as our game engine. And for the actual development environment, we're going to be using VS Code. So VS Code is Microsoft's open source editor that's obviously borrowing at least a decent amount from Visual Studio, but in a much, much lighter and completely extensible package. So the one thing that VS Code really excels at is JavaScript and TypeScript development. So it's an editor that I've been using for a while and really fallen in love with, and basically it does TypeScript development very well. So it is a really good tool for us to use in developing the game. And to get started quickly, we're going to be using a a template that I've set up on GitHub for Phaser Electron and TypeScript, which is basically just some small edits that I've made from this repository that I've linked to from mine. But this will allow us to rapidly be able to set our development environment up, at least for VS Code. For other environments, you might have to tweak a few things, but this will allow us to kind of hit the ground running pretty quickly. So in the next video, we're going to be going over actually setting up that development environment and then actually jumping into game code. So I will see you next time.